they are in first place. Obviously, they're clear of the Pirates now, and they're going to continue to slip. The Cardinals are by far the biggest threat in the division, but they are 5 games clear of that ball club. When you add it up, if this team does have a healthy Brandon Woodruff for the second half of the season, and you've got Burns doing what he should be doing, and Freddie Peralta, who for the most part, I know he had the one hiccup recently, but then recovered. For the most part, he has looked like an upper echelon starter, right? Definitely can slot in as one of the better 3s in baseball. Shouldn't this team be thinking about World Series?
If you ask me, the answer is absolutely. And not only all of that, but you sort of start piecing the timelines together of the core of the team and some of the contracts. Corbin Burns is a free agent after next year. Brandon Woodruff, a free agent after next year. Willie Adames, a free agent after next year. And these guys are all at the very top of their position in the entire league. Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff at the very top of it when healthy. So that's rightfully so. They would command a lot of money if they keep up the performance that they've been having in recent years over the next year and a half. So it starts to create questions of are the Brewers going to be able to keep these guys? It's a big question around here in Milwaukee. They haven't been signed yet. As these things get closer, it becomes even tougher in a lot of instances to extend guys. So that being said, you've got this window open right now, and the Brewers want to they want to avoid they say the peaks and valleys of other organizations. So they want to consistently have a shot each and every year, and they don't want to sacrifice a potential shot 5 years from now by trading the entire farm. But wins right now that's what you can guarantee you're going to have. You have a good ball club this year. You can guarantee if you put together a good roster, you'll have a shot at a playoff run, especially with this pitching rotation when they're all healthy and pitching like they're capable of, how good they can be. So now might be the shot, to go for it. We'll see if they actually do it. They have, the farm system's much better than it's been in recent years, which creates sort of a conundrum of like, do we take advantage of that to make the team better now, or, try to have a really good team in 5 years as well? It's a tricky spot.
Totally seen the Brewers. Now I know it was with David Stern. Now Matt Arnold's at the helm, but we've totally seen some unique trades. Speaking of the Willie Adames trade, speaking of the unfortunate Hader trade last year, is it possible that at the trade deadline they're 3 games up and they go for it and they're buyers and then be sellers with the year of control left for the starting pitchers that they have? Is it possible they could be a buyer and then be a seller at the end of the season and to, like you said, kind of rebuild, still with Yelly, still with, Luis, still with Willie and all those guys?
That's absolutely a possibility. I no idea how this is going to play out, but that's certainly one prominent scenario. And at least in my mind, is you take your shot that you have right now, but then you can probably still get a lot of value for any of these guys that you could trade in the off season as well. And then their model isn't fully Rays-esque, but similar to that. And you're not losing Corbin Burns, you're not losing Woodruff, you're not losing any of those guys for absolutely nothing. They could let it play, those contracts play out and then kind of take a shot at it next year as well. But with how we saw the Hader trade go, 2 things with how the Hader trade went down. First is I don't think we're going to see a replication of that this trade deadline. Nobody enjoyed how that went down. But in the offseason, I think it's a little easier maybe for fans to kind of swallow losing a player like that, and then getting prospects back and then having an entire offseason to sort of make up for the loss. So absolutely, I could see that happening. Not saying it's a guarantee of how it's going to work. Takes 2 to tango in the trade market, but absolutely could see it happening.
And my thing is just looking around the division, and around the National League, I should say. Padres, not as good as we thought they were going to be so far. Mets, not as good as we thought they were going to be so far. Dodgers, good, but dealing with a ton of pitching injuries. Point is, this is your lane. It might not look like it, but this is your lane. You pick up a couple offensive pieces, this could be a very serious ball club.